I would say there's really two types of lumber that you can make on a sawmill. There's 100 species and all different ways you can cut it. But in my mind, the two types of lumber are building lumber and for like outdoor framing, and pretty lumber for making more crafty projects or woodworking and furniture and that sort of thing. And I've been doing quite a bit of the second kind, and that's what we've got tonight. This is cedar that we cut down off the property line between me and the neighbor, and I think he's just dying to see how this looks. So I want to cut it up and take it down there and show it to him. I'm going to try to give it to him if he'll take it. He seems real interested in the sawmill, but I asked him if he wanted to come see it, and he said it was too far to walk right now. So what I need to be doing and what I need to set my mind to is really processing a lot of oak so that I can build a sawmill shed. But tonight we're going to start right here. And this knobby old twisted thing needs a lot of trimming before I can even mill it. So why am I saying that and doing this? Well, my wife wants me to make a toy box for my grandson, and I was thinking cedar might be the ticket for that. I won't get that much out of this. I've got a little bit of cedar already that's been drying for a while. We'll just see what we get out of it. It's tiny. I don't get a lot of cedar, so I'd love to do my whole sawmill building, the siding on it out of cedar, but it'd take me years to get enough. The other day, somebody commented on a chainsaw comparison video, said, "You guys never show how hard they are to start." That doesn't even enter my mind because I've never owned a chainsaw that was hard to start. My first chainsaw I ever got was a Steel 250. I didn't know anything about running a chainsaw, and sometimes when I would shut it off, I'd have trouble getting it to start again. But I haven't ran that one in a long time. The 500, sometimes it's 2 pulls. It's never been more than 4. So it's about high 30s, maybe 35, 37 degrees right now. I pumped the fuel. Let's see what she does tonight whenever I've bragged on it. So I don't run my chainsaws every day, but I've had that one 2 or 3 years, and I've never one time had trouble starting it. I run it a couple times a week, fires right up. But from now on, when I go to do a chainsaw comparison with somebody else, I'll ask them, is their saw ever finicky? But man, how can you not love cedar? As soon as I cut into that, just that aroma, I guess if it smells like Christmas is what it is in my mind. And then see that beautiful red on there? Phenomenal. I was kind of depressed looking around YouTube today. They say comparison is the thief of joy. Well, that can be true. I've been talking since I got this mill in the spring that I was going to build a sawmill shed. That's a pretty big undertaking I'm going to do. But I've got 1 stack of wood prepped for it, and I've got a bunch of posts. And I was looking, Hometown Acres built a shed. Most of that, I think most of the wood he built himself. And my buddy Lucas from Peaks Peak, he built a cabin and insulated it while I've been talking about this. So I've got to get in gear. So that comparison may be the thief of joy, but it can also be a motivator. I've also heard sometimes the best favor you can give yourself is learning how to say no. And I don't say no to much of anything. Means I might be chasing too many squirrels at once. I need to level the log out, and if I raise that end, this end is actually going to drop below the bunk. So what I need is I need the fat end of the log to be on a bunk. Let's lower this down, see if you can tell what I'm talking about. So where this hangs off, if I raise that end, this has already got a wobble to it that's sticking down. If I raise that up, we're going to be way below the bunk, and I think it's going to affect the yield. The best case scenario doesn't always happen, but ideally you'd have both ends of the log land on a bunk. If anybody's wondering how it's going with the Jeep we just bought, that's why I'm out here so late. My father-in-law is a retired mechanic, knows his stuff pretty good. And before buying a bunch of parts for it, I took it over to his house and he kind of checked everything out. We spent a few hours in his shop. And then I went running around to some parts houses. I'm going to have a video out pretty soon working on that Jeep. Let's see if we got any battery. On, 0. And we go into pressure. There. And we go half, 1, half, 2, and a half. Also, if anyone's wondering about the Woodland Mills refurbishing program, Woodland Mills customer service took a break from Christmas to New Year's. So we opened up all that stuff, but we couldn't get any parts. So we've had like a week where we were waiting on parts. I don't think they take a break like that very often. All right, tracking looks good. I've got that joyful kind of feeling. I want to sing Some Kind of Wonderful, but I was thinking I'd spare you guys on that, because as good as I am at everything else I do, not much of a singer. I know these run good in the cold. It's only, like I said, it's not that cold today, but all the guys up north run them in frigid temperatures. Only thing is I've got it idled down, and I need to just get a screwdriver and idle it back up, and haven't done it. Some kind of wonderful. You ever seen anything more beautiful in your life? I don't know, it's a tough one. So I had this set at 1 1/8 inch, and I want a 1-inch board after it dries. So I need 1 1/4 inch to track saw kerf and drying time to get down to 1 inch. So I'm gonna add 1 1/4 inch to my 1 1/8 inch. Gives me 2 3/8 is my setting on that. Now I'm gonna 0 it, make the cut. Next cut will be at 1 1/4 inch. 0 it, make the cut. Repeatable. Love the power head. So I'm wanting boards that right now are 1.1 to 1.25 inches. Rather than trying to measure that off the bunk, I set one of them next to it, brought the blade down till it just barely touches. I'm going to make that cut. The piece off the top will be thinner, the piece on the bottom will be the right thickness. So originally, I thought I'll have really nice lumber when it dries if I bring it in the shop and stack it and sticker it in here. But what I've found out is I want to do so many other things in the shop, especially in the winter. This is my office. This is my workplace. I cannot put all of my lumber in here. So what I think is building grade lumber, rough cut, dimensional 2x4s and 1x6s and all of that. It's probably going to have to stack outside. And not just based on dimensions. I said that wrong. Really, 90% of the wood I get here is oak. Mostly the oak is going to go outside because I get so much of it. I'm mainly going to use it for framing. Other species, cherry, cedar, walnut, stuff like that, that's going to dry here in the shop where it's more critical that it gets a perfect dry on it. So, it's been a good day. I didn't accomplish that much out at the mill, but anytime I get to fire it up is a good day. I think I'm going to go in the house and get a ribeye and edit this video for tomorrow. But I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.